guys, it's Trevor with High Desert Tactical, and this is another video on my XDS after I got it back from recall. If you guys haven't watched any of my videos prior to this, go ahead and check out down below in the description box, and I have all my videos in order from the day that the gun was recalled to, basically registering my firearm for being shipped away to packing it and shipping it and then receiving it and shooting it. And so we're to this point where I'm just going to kind of do a little recap over the XDS and the recall and like what I've done since then. And I'm basically going to just kind of continue what Springfield started. What I noticed just for fun is that they went in and actually polished the feed ramp on my barrel, because originally my barrel's feed ramp was not polished at all. And I'll show you that right now. This gun has been safety checked, just in case you safety guys are out there doing your thing. I'm going to slide it, lock it in the back position, take the tear down lever, cycle it up, pull it forward, point the gun in a safe direction, pull the trigger, then cycle it forward, and there's my slide and spring assembly. One of my favorite things about the XDS is this heavy duty guide spring, double guide spring with an actual coiled spring, not like a hammered spring of any sort. Pull that apart, and so here is the barrel. So what I wanted to cover is, if you look at this barrel, if I can get it to be in the light just right and stay in focus, you can see how shiny this barrel is. That's just super shiny. It's actually it's not as shiny as it was when it came out of the box when I got it back, because I've shot this thing several times. But I want to compare it to basically an LC9's barrel right out of the box, or actually this is several years of shooting this LC9, and this is basically what the barrel's feed ramp looked like when I originally got the XDS, and then they've gone ahead in there and polished this sucker all up. So I kind of noticed that. And then one more thing that was a big difference was actually on the slide. They actually went in and stoned this guide, and then stoned part of the hammer, or not the hammer, I'm sorry, the firing pin hammer or striker. So this has been stoned and cleaned up a whole lot, and these channels, the guide channels on the rail, have not been really messed with, but this has seriously been cleaned up, and the barrel has been seriously cleaned up. So these are the two things that I noticed that came back that were different from when I originally got the gun. So what I decided to do is kind of finish what they started. And I've shot this gun several times, so these aren't as clean as they should be, because I just haven't done a thorough cleaning on this gun. I'm still running it through its paces and making sure that she cycles well and have no failures of feed. And I've shot dang near almost 800, maybe even 1,000 rounds through this sucker so far, and haven't had any problems. And so it's dirty, and I'm kind of doing that on purpose. But I've gone ahead, and these guides right here, I've taken and took emery cloth to them and sanded them with about a 320 to 400 grit emery cloth. Anywhere where metal contacts the frame with the slide, I've gone in and smoothed them up quite a bit. And I still need a lot of work to do, because these are still not doing very much justice to how something should look when it's stoned. But that's kind of what I wanted to do, is just kind of go in there and finish what Springfield started and clean up my gun, and maybe get my action to run a little bit smoother. And overall, I'm still really pleased with my XDS. I haven't had any issues with it. I have been getting a few reports on my videos that a couple people are getting their XDSs back, and they're having issues with light primer strikes, which I noticed that was actually an issue when the gun first came out anyways, and people were sending their guns back for light primer strikes. I never had any issues like that with my XDS, and to be honest with you, I've shot, thousands of rounds through the gun. Like at least a couple thousand rounds before I took the gun and sent it in, and I never had any light primer strikes. I never had any failures to feed or anything like that. I've always had pretty good luck with my guns, and this XDS was super reliable before the recall, and I had no worries about that gun, having it on me or using it for any defensive purposes. But after the recall, it has kind of shaken my trust or belief in the firearm, and so I'm kind of doing what I think I should do before I start packing it around again. So that's what I'm doing. One thing I will talk about though is when I did get the gun back, I went and loaded it with some Hornady Critical Defense, and I did notice when I cycled the gun manually, the first round did not seat fully, and the slide stayed back, probably like a quarter, maybe 1/8 of an inch, not even 1/4 of an inch. And I thought that was a little odd. And I mean, the gun was fairly wet from being in service and being cleaned up, and so they kind of shipped it with a little bit more oil. I already wiped it down and stuff, but I went and unloaded the gun, basically dropped the magazine, and then cycled it, pulled this round out, reloaded it, and then when I went to load it the second time, instead of kind of gingerly, you know how most people grab a hold of that slide and then kind of still manually hold it as it cycle it forward. Well, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to grab that slide and then let the slide do its own work. You're not supposed to help it or hinder it or slow it down. And that's what I did. I grabbed a hold of that sucker and just let it go, and it slammed forward and loaded just fine. And that was the only issue I had. And then when I went out and shot it for the first time on my first shots video, those were Full Metal Jacket HSM reloads, and the gun cycled just fine the whole time, and it worked great. So I just kind of wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up and like what I was doing, and kind of tell you a little bit about my XDS and how it's working. I have had no problems with it. I've shot it several times since I posted my first shots video, and I'm still having very good luck with my XDS. Any of you have questions or want to know about anything that I may have an experience with the XDS, I feel that I've dealt with it in a very close manner and dealt with Springfield Armory very close. So if you have any questions about the recall or about your firearm personally, don't hesitate to ask. But this is Trevor with High Desert Tactical. I'm taking off. Take care, guys, and be safe.